day 19. Been homeless here in Southern California. I wanted to talk about kind of like keeping the tent clean and gathering stuff around. Because right here, if you look at it, there's like a bunch of this around here. What do you do in an instance like this? Okay, well here I'm going to use it to stabilize the tent because the tent is popping up. And I'm going to put as much of this under the tent as I can. You see how I'm doing that? That'll keep it nice and stable. And look what else I found here. I found a fantastic cement piece, and I can like use that to keep the tent very level. Now it's on a level footing. I keep going, you know, there's a whole bunch of cement pieces here. I can have a very happy tent. And between padding, just kind of like a bird's nest. And that is an important to structure and stabilize the tent so that it does not pop up or get unwieldy. The tent. And that is what I wanted to talk about today, is the tent stability. And also let's talk about eating for cheap, because like where can you go and eat for cheap? Well, a lot of people want to go to the food banks, and you know what I'm seeing is like most of these people who go to these drive-up food banks have like fancy cars, and it's starting to make me it's always really irked me that they have these things when people go up there. 4/5 of them have a nice fancy car, better than, let's see, nobody has a Ford, the economical versions. They all have a fine car, and it's looking great, and like except for very few. And that rules out people who are on foot and they're not able to access the food banks. So you really have to think about like people's needs in advance. And why do they have this place? Okay, you have to have a car to go. They load you down with like milks and ice cream and breads and toiletries and all these things, and you can't fit them in your backpack. So when you go, you look like really out of place with your backpack. And you know, I've said I'll just take as much as I can, and they're okay with that. And usually it's like then you're just pulling out your back. You cannot do these things if you are an old person. You have to be young to travel and to do these things, because public transportation is not, for one, is not for the elderly. You have to be able to walk and get around, pull things, lug things, carry things. You have to pull yourself. You have to get up and down the stairs. You have to get in and out of the subways quick. And it is, none of this is for the old. It's not for the infirm. It's not for the disabled. None of it is. It's for those people who are well enough off that they can get around and they can make good use out of the services that the state provides. You have to be well enough off that you can participate. And the food banks having people come up and find cars is unpleasant, disappointing, and they should rule them out. If your car is over a certain dollar value, you should not be allowed to come, because these volunteers who work there, maybe they also have a nice car, maybe they don't, you know, and maybe they feel ashamed. So I think that if their dollar value of their car is over 30 grand, that they cannot come to the food bank. That should be a rule. Let's say 30 grand, what do you think? 30, 35, what do you think? Definitely if it's over 40,000, they can't come. What do you think? Like, I'm thinking about trucks and vans, and like, how much does a truck cost in a van? So let's say 35 if it's a truck. You can't come in your luxury car to the food bank saying that you need a surplus of free food, you know, just because you're not working. But on the other hand, some people point out like people's homes are getting foreclosed and they recently lost their job and they recently can't afford food, and this just all just happened to them. Do you really think so? I think that if it just happened to them, they won't be savvy enough to go. They won't know about it. They won't find out about it. It's for the people who are savvy and are able to take advantage of it. So food banks should, it's hard going on foot. It's hard seeing the cars there that are luxury cars in line waiting for their handouts, and it's for people who have, and it's not for people who don't have. And that's the reality of a lot of programs the state has to people who already have, and it's not meeting the needs of everybody. I also think that we should help the animals a lot more, and I think that it should be mandatory for every home to have a bird feeder and a water dispenser for the wildlife. And it's sad that we don't really care about anybody else anymore, and those who are in need is the animals, because we've taken it all away from them. We did not supply. That's what I wanted to say today. How can those beings in need get what they need to survive? Yes, don't you agree? Bye.